Picture this. You're studying in Europe at a literal top-tier public university, and it is absolutely free. No, seriously. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can make this total dream a reality. We're talking about a completely life-changing prospect here, studying in Italy on a fully funded regional scholarship. Let's get into it.
24,000 euros. That is a game changer. When you secure this funding, not only is your tuition fully covered, but you actually receive a massive living stipend of 8,000 euros every single year. For a standard 3-year bachelor's degree, that totals up to a staggering 24,000 euros going straight into your pocket. And honestly, the best part, this exact same funding applies if you're pursuing a master's degree or even an MBBS. Yeah, you heard that right. Italy is literally one of the only places on earth where you can study medicine for free while getting paid to do it. But here's what makes this opportunity so incredibly rare, and this brilliantly illustrates why it's known as an almost 100% guaranteed scholarship. You know those highly competitive merit-based programs where you're just fighting thousands of applicants tooth and nail for a single spot based purely on your grades? Well, this isn't that. This financial aid is virtually guaranteed. If your paperwork is flawless and authentic, you get the funding. It's truly that simple. No way, right? But it's true. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover how free education in Italy actually works, followed by who is eligible and the vital timelines you need to know. Then, we'll walk through the mandatory scholarship documents, the application and payout process, and finish up with a crucial visa reality check. Moving right along to Section 1, free education in Italy and exactly how Italy's 20 regions fund international students. So think of it like this. Italy is divided up into 20 distinct regions, kind of like states or provinces, and each one manages its own specific independent scholarship program for the public universities inside its borders. These regional government scholarships provide financial aid based entirely on your family's financial circumstances rather than your academic merit. Offered by specific regions, think beautiful places like Tuscany, Sicily, or Lazio. This means your financial need, not your high school or undergrad GPA, is the primary factor that actually secures this incredible funding for you.
Which brings us to Section 2. Who is eligible? Let's look at the core requirements.
Okay, there are 3 primary pillars of eligibility here. First up, you absolutely must have an acceptance letter from an Italian public university. Second, you're going to need a pre-enrollment summary generated through a portal called Universitily. And third, now this is the big one, your family income must be strictly under 27,000 euros per year. And honestly, this is fantastic news. The income limit was actually recently increased. That means a vast majority of middle-class households worldwide, like in South Asia, Latin America, or Africa, just naturally fall into this bracket and qualify effortlessly. Next up, Section 3, important dates and timelines, and exactly when to take action. Listen, when it comes to this process, timing is absolutely everything. From October to December, public university admissions open up. Now, these seats are highly competitive, so you gotta secure your admission first before things close around March or April. Then, only later on during the summer, usually between June and September, do the regional scholarship applications actually open up. So if you remember one thing from this, it's this. Secure the admission in the winter or spring and apply for the money in the summer. Make sense?
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds. Mandatory scholarship documents and proving your eligibility.
All right, so you're going to need 3 vital documents here. Number 1, a family income certificate. You generate this from your local tax or financial department. So, for example, the FBR in Pakistan. Number 2, a property document from your local land authority detailing any assets you might have. And number 3, that pre-enrollment summary and acceptance letter we just talked about. And hey, here is a massive tip for you. If your meticulously prepared family income certificate clearly states that you have 0 movable or immovable assets, well, some regions might actually waive the requirement for you to submit a separate property document altogether. How cool is that? But hold on, you can't just print these out and hit submit. There is a very strict legalization chain you've got to follow here. Step 1, you must attest these documents at your local government office. Step 2, they have to be legalized at your country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MOFA. And Step 3, they must be translated entirely into the Italian language. Once this whole strict chain is complete, you submit them online. Or actually, in the case of some universities like Siena, you literally have to mail the hard copies by post, so they arrive before the application deadline. Don't let that trip you up. All right, moving on to Section 5, the application and payout process. This takes us from provisional lists all the way to actual bank deposits. So here is exactly how it flows after you apply.
In September or October, the region publishes what's called a provisional winners list. Guys, this step is absolutely critical because they give you a super short, like 1 to 2 week window to appeal. If they find a minor error in a document, you have to act incredibly fast to fix it and resubmit during this tiny little window just to save your scholarship. Then you arrive in Italy sometime around October to December, and that is when your first installment is finally deposited into your bank account. Your second installment, though, that doesn't arrive into the following August. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how that 8,000 euros stipend is actually split up. Your first installment, deposited upon your arrival, is typically 20 to 50% of the total. That means you're getting a cash injection of about 3,000 to 4,000 euros right off the bat to help you settle in. But to unlock the second installment of the remaining 50 to 80% next August, well, there's a catch. You've got to pass a certain number of academic credit hours. You can't just take the first payment and slack off or fail your classes. You actually have to prove you're studying and progressing in your degree. Fair enough, right? Okay, finally, Section 6, the visa reality check, and what I call the crucial financial paradox. So the crucial point is, before you go packing your bags, you really need to navigate this tricky financial paradox. To get the scholarship in the first place, you must prove financial need, meaning your family income must be less than 27,000 euros. However, to actually get your student visa approved by the embassy, you've got to prove financial strength. Your bank statement must show more than 10,000 euros, which is roughly 3.6 million Pakistani rupees, just as an example. You have to prove you can support yourself before that first scholarship payout even arrives. It's tough, but you've got to carefully balance these two completely conflicting financial proofs. The entire path to a fully funded European education is basically mapped out right in front of you now. So the ultimate question really is, are you sincere enough with your future to start organizing these exact documents today? This opportunity is literally 100% there for the taking, but for sure it demands your immediate and organized action. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I highly, highly encourage you to go start preparing those documents right now. You've got this.